I'm not going to take any time here this morning. Just got this song in my heart, and I just hope that the Lord will bless me. I need you, Lord, like the flowers needs the sunshine. I need you, Lord, like the morning needs the dew. I'm gonna follow you, Jesus, no matter what others may do. You can make it without me, Lord, but I can't make it without you. Like a babe without its mother's hand to hold on to. That's exactly the way I am. Lord, without you, I'm gonna follow you, Jesus, no matter what others may do. You can make it without me, Lord, but I can't make it without you. I need you, Lord, till the waters and the oceans run dry. I need you, Lord, till the stars fall from the sky. I need you, Lord, dear Jesus, yes I do. You can make it without me, Lord, but I can't make it without you. I need you, Lord, till the moon turns to blood. I need you, Lord, like old Noah did in the flood. I need you, Lord, your friend that is so true. You can make it without me, Lord, but I can't make it without you. That's such a true song. I fell in love with that song whenever I first heard it. Because when troubles and sorrows come our way in this world, you know, sometimes this world, it sure can try to tear us down. But I'm glad that I serve the Lord that knows each and every one of our problems, each and every one of the things of this world that can get right down to us. I want you to know here this morning, I'm not going to take much time, but I just want each and every one of you to know that I serve the Lord that is so full of love and mercy, that He looked down when I was down on bended knees, crying out to Him, begging Him, Lord, to save my soul and to grant me without salvation. He looked down on a poor sinner like me, and He blessed me with that salvation that I felt down in my heart whenever the Lord, He took up His abode. I want you to know that this world, that it's not my home. I'm just passing through. Troubles and sorrows may come your way, but I'm glad that I know a man whenever things begin to get a little rough here in this life, that I can cry out to Him and say, Lord, here I am again. It's me again, Lord. I can't do it in this life. Lord, I need your help. I've tried everything that I know to do. Lord, I just needed to turn it over to Him. I'm so glad, Brother Tommy, that whenever I got acquainted with everybody in this church, that I was a little bit out of place. At least that's the way I felt. I felt like I didn't know anything about anybody here. Oh, whenever I was staying over Brother Brian and Sister Kia's, they began to tell me about this family here. They began to tell me about Brother Tommy. And I want you to know that if you serve the Lord with all your heart, it will show on each and every person that's gathered around you in this life. I'm glad that I met a man one time, that whenever I got found out in my sin, all I had to say, Lord, was here I am, God. I'm but a dog in your side. Lord, would you save me? I'm glad that I got to know this man that hung upon Calvary's hill, upon an old rugged cross. That whenever that a young person may, or anybody may, begin to cry out to him and fear of their sins, I'm glad that my Lord, He heard my cry down on bended knees. I want you to know that I met this man called Jesus, and you know you hear many stories of that Bible. I'm glad that it's there for each and every one of us, for it's a guide unto us. I want you to know that one time there was a man by the name of Gideon there, and he was threshing the wheat behind the press. And you know, an angel came unto him and said, Gideon, you are going to serve the Lord, and you're going to guide Israel right away from their enemy, the Midianites. And you know, it says that Gideon, he began to get afraid right within himself, and he said, oh, if this be true, I am the least in my Father's house. I'm so glad that whenever the Lord begins to take up His abode, I want you to know that He can make each and every one of us here in this life feel like that. As long as we got the Lord on our side, there ain't nothing that we can't do in this world. Aren't you glad that you got to know this man? For whenever Gideon, he began to speak to that angel, and he said, if this be true, would you wait right here? I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to go prepare you a gift. And it says that he went and got a kid, which was he going to go and began to prepare that goat there. He took its flesh and he made some unleavened cakes there. And it said that from that goat he prepared a broth for that angel there. And I want you to know, whenever he brought that little sacrifice back to that angel, the angel began to say, would you lay the unleavened cakes and the flesh upon the rock, and you pour that broth right on the ground? I'm so glad that whenever I was crying out to my Lord, that He heard my cry. Or it says that whenever Gideon, he laid that flesh and that unleavened cakes right upon the rock, that angel began to take his staff and he pointed at that rock, and the flesh and the unleavened cakes, they were consumed with fire, and he told him to pour that broth right out on the ground. I want you to know that whenever I was down and out, found out in my sin, I found a man that he put a fire down in my heart. He lifted me up when I was down in the deepest and darkest valley. He set me right on top of the mountain there, and He poured my soul into the hinder sea, and it's as far as the east is from the west. Do you know this man here that I talk about called Jesus Christ? For He is the greatest love that I've ever felt in this world. I want you to know that Memorial Day, it ain't maybe just for the veterans here, but I want you to know it's an opportunity for us when we gather here in the church house to shout as loud as we can and say, Lord, thank you for everything that you've done for us here in this world. I want you to know it's a time for us to show the children here that's gathered around. I love to see that when little kids are just playing right around inside the church house. And you know what? That's exactly how I grew up. I want you to know that in this world, it may tell us, well, you don't have very good order, you don't have this. I've met people that said that it's foolishness to have children running about like that. But I want you to know that whenever I was a little boy, one of the first memories peace, I guess, that I ever had in church. And my mama, she came and got me as a preacher, and that for some reason I love to hear. Even as a little boy, she said that he was getting up. And I tell you right now, at that brother, he was a little bit long-winded. And you know, I just remember falling asleep in her lap while he was up preaching. And you know, whenever I woke up, there was another brother who was standing up and he was singing such a beautiful song. And you know, and it began to get the women shout a little bit. And you know, whenever he began to start just the second song, he didn't even get to preach, for everybody was up and shouting. And I began to look right behind the pew at the whole church just rejoicing. And you know what? That's always stuck with me here in this world. We need to show this world where it is that we stand. Not just the children, but everybody that we meet here in this world. I've always loved that little story that Brother Brandon was preaching to you about. I'm so glad that whenever I leave this world, that everybody that I've met will be able to say he served the Lord with all of his heart. That's all I want, Sister Kia, is whenever I come down to die, that this world will be able to look and say that he served God with all his heart, soul, mind, and strength. If you don't know the Lord here today, you need to get to know this man. Repent and be born again, for there's nothing but joy, and serving the Lord. I'm glad to be here today. I'm going to go ahead and take my seat. I want you to know that whenever somebody comes to you and begins to ask you about this man named Jesus, and you will be able to say, I've got him down in my heart. He's the greatest love that I've ever felt. I'm so glad here today that all it takes is for you to turn over your whole heart. That's all that he's looking for. That's all he needs in this world, is for you to be obedient unto him. I didn't know that. At least I didn't think I did. I want you to know I said, I unto God that I tried to bargain my way into heaven's land. I tried to give up all the music that I listened to, all the friends that I hung around with, Brother Ryan. And you know what? Having what the Lord was looking for, he wanted me to just give him my whole heart. That's all he needs. I'm going to go ahead and get out of the way. But you know, I hope that here today that you continue to pray for the brothers as they come.